Hello my succulent friends, it's me Suze and I'm back and I'm feeling a lot better. So firstly, apologies that I didn't make the part 2 to my video, but I ran out of mojo basically the other day, and I've been at the nail shop this morning, so I felt like I was well enough to go out in public, and yeah, so I got fresh nails, so that feels good. Nothing better than a fresh manicure to make a sick girl feel better. Not that I'm sick, I'm good. Alright, so what I wanted to show you last time that I took out of my front garden is this. It's huge. This is a Japanese purple, it's called. And I actually have 2 of them. You may have seen the other one, though I don't think I've pointed it out specifically. So the backstory is I used to buy from Succulents Australia on their eBay site. They used to put some really cool succulents listings there, and so I went back to my photos where I keep a record of my purchases, and I need a tray. I just got a tray, and I went to check on how much I paid for it, paid for both of them. So I paid $30 for the first one. They were both definitely auctions. I don't remember it as an auction, but I can tell the photo it was. And so the first one I paid $30, and then I bought another one from their auction at $18. I don't think when I bought the second one I realised I had just bought one before that, which is such a typical Susie move. And so, you know, that's cool, and obviously it's grown a lot being in the ground. And the other one's quite a good size too. They were quite comparable in size when I first got them. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is when I went on to Succulents Australia just to see what's going on, if they're still selling them, they are out of stock, but they did have a listing price for $80. So this succulent has increased its value like a good wine, or investing in property, I guess. Anyway, so it pleased me immensely to find out that that's how much they value them now. But it goes back into that subject we were talking about inflated succulent prices, particularly for ones that are trendy, you know, all the pebbles and stuff, all the round chubby ones, so forth. The prices are just off the charts, ridiculous in my mind. But anyway, so because I figured out the value of it, I thought I'm getting it out of the front garden and I'm going to nurture it. It did have a little mealy in there and I did take it out, but the farina on this leaf is a little bit not perfect, which is fine. So I wanted to pot it up, and I thought we could do that today. I do have, I'm trying to get this leaf off. There we go. I do have some other things in trays that I've taken out of the garden. I don't think I got round to showing that, so I'll show them really quickly. I think really exciting. I've got a big frilly Echeveria. I'll insert photo now. And it had some flower blooms, so I took those off, and I'm going to try and propagate those. And I noticed there were a couple of scraggly little babies underneath, and I think I see a little signs of a little bit of mealyweb, so I've got to clean them up. But that's cool, I like that. And they're a bit distorted in shape because they were see, look, that's not good. They were hiding underneath it. Yeah, I just wiped it on my jeans. Right, so that was that tray, and this tray is this tray really needs work. The next one I'm going to show you. There's so much stuff going on this table at the moment, and there's dirt everywhere. So I've got some imbricatas here that weren't looking too good. Imbricatas get a lot of dry leaves, and they can a little bit prone to rot if the water doesn't get to the roots properly. So I have those. I have a couple of black princes, and unfortunately the mealies have got them too. I have to treat all my succulent beds. I'm trying to move my cord for my headphones. Hang on. Yeah, so I have to put some stuff out, some systemic in those patches, but I'm working on it. That issue that I have with the grass, I got down low and I pretty much pulled them out. It's just a quick temporary fix. I still have to probably reset the whole thing, but I have been busy out there. I wanted to do a little work before I put down the systemic, but you see that one's got it too. Black princes are a bit vulnerable to mealies, and there was a few flower blooms that I cut off, and these leaves, the black prince leaves, they're so good to propagate, and obviously it didn't bloom. I think I saw an aphid in there as well. That's why I don't like landscaping so much, because I feel like it's like the wild out there. It's just free reign, you know, with bugs and stuff. I'm trying to deal with my microphone cord. And then this stuff here, I have a big, it's more like a shrub now. It's old, it's been in there a while. So I think it's a jewel, a Graptivaria jewel, though people's other photos I've seen of Graptivaria jewels, the colour seems to be more darker and more purpley tones. With this stuff has more of an olive tone. Maybe in different conditions it will go to that other colour. But this mealies love this stuff too. So what there's a helicopter going over. I hope it's not too noisy. Or playing or whatever. So I'm thinking I'm going to just remove all the stuff in there when I reset things that I know mealies really love. And unfortunately, it's this one, because I don't treat that stuff out there regularly enough. There's a whole bunch living in there. But I'm thinking I'll do my little trick where I cut out center points, clean them up, and see if we can grow some new stuff. So yeah, so that's not really exciting. I've got a few other trays sitting on my front porch full of stuff as well. A few Mexican giants I cut out. Some Echeveria red edge pups I stole. But anyway, so I will pot up that Japanese maple. I got some new pots too recently, and I might use some of these Pats Pinks cuttings that I have and combine it with that Japanese maple. So I'll be doing that really soon. Whoops. It's really crowded here. Okay, but what I really wanted to show you, and I'm really kind of excited about, and I'm going to call it Whimsy, Succulent Garden Whimsy. So these are chopsticks. I bought them online, and I was looking specifically for chopsticks that had design to it. So these ones have got like little Chinese geisha girls. And, oops. No, I'm not going to eat my succulents with chopsticks. I want to use them as stakes to hold succulents up and use them like a decoration as well. So this is the first time I'm looking at it, obviously. I don't know if the designs are different or all the same. I think they look pretty much all the same. So there's that set that I got. They're quite inexpensive on my on eBay. eBay is where I go to get all my little silly stuff. And then I picked up this packet, and I thought this floral design is really sweet. You may even have some in your kitchen, you know. And I'll show you in a tick where and how I'm going to use them. I think this is going to be quite fun, actually. Just trying to open this up. Have a look at these. There's a lot of designs to choose from, but I just sort of pick a couple to start with. I was looking for sort of an Asian motif, you know, or Oriental. Alright, let's go do it. I'll do the chopsticks first before we do the Japanese maple. Right, so I'm over with my big pots in the full sun pots, as I refer to them. And so that pot of sedum clavitums is where the inspiration for these chopsticks has come from. So I think I want to try these pink ones, because I thought the colour is nice against that. And what I'm thinking is, because there's a lot of new growth in there, and some of these older heads are a little bit leggy and limby, which is cool, I like that, but I was thinking I might try and stake these in a little bit to hold them upright a bit. And I just thought the chopsticks would look pretty, rather than just, you know, regular old garden stakes. This is a little bit challenging to do this one-handed and figure out where to put them. I had practiced with a couple of regular old chopsticks from inside the house, and it did seem to work. See how that's sort of holding it up? But really, I just wanted to put them in as decoration. Kind of reminds me of when an Asian woman ties her hair up. Sometimes they hold it together with chopsticks. Well, at least my grandmother did. Don't know if you know, but I have Asian blood. I'm half Australian and half Vietnamese. Some of you who know me a bit better know that, but others you might not be aware. Anyway, so my grandmother, she used to wear chopsticks in her hair. She used to tie her hair up in a bun because she had really long hair. And I kind of sort of want to replicate that kind of feeling with it. I don't think they really need it yet, because they're not hanging over all floppy like, but I just wanted to decorate the pot really with them. So it sort of holds that up. So anyway, that's why I bought those. I think I'll play around with that on my own. But yeah, I think that just adds a little element of fun. Actually, this big pot of sedums here, I think they're Adelphides. This is really really nuts. It's very freckly. I've taken cuttings and stuff off certain heads, but I think it would probably be better when you're dealing with this sort of stuff to trim it really low. But some of these are super long. Look how green it is under there. And see, I've actually done this before. There's a chopstick in there, but it's so long now that it's really not making much of an impact. You can't really see them in there. This one as well. But anyway, so that's why I bought them. I don't have any other succulents particularly in mind that I think I need to use them for. I'm not sure about the placement of where I just placed them, but I think they're cute. I think in the right pot with the right succulent, it could really look really really fantastic actually. Oh, there is the other Japanese maple. There's the other Japanese purple that I have. So who knew? $80, huh? Wow. And I had a look at the Kante as well, and that was quite high too. What was it? How much was it? Oh, I'm gonna go have a look right now because it's got me curious. So I'll insert the photos from Succulents Australia so you can see $68. And I just went back to my photo records and I paid $19.50 for mine from them. So, and that was about 2 years ago. So unbelievable how much some succulents have gone up. It probably has to do with you know, how many that they've got. Obviously I'm finding it hard to get pups off this, and this is a couple of years old, so I guess that has something to factor in. But you know, I paid 20 and now 68. Gosh, anyway, you saw it's got roots, so that's doing well. It seems to have shrunk in size a little bit, but that's probably got to do with the weather. So cute little frilly here. It's got some little babies at the base, and I think it's got, oh no, maybe I took them off, I can't remember. I thought it had some up there. Oh, right. Oh, okay, sorry, I'm on the old girl. So I stopped by Bunnings and I had to pick up some soil, and I secretly was looking for some new pots, and I found these. So this size here was $20. I got 2 of them, and it's got that sort of cross pattern, and then the smaller version is $10, and this has a different pattern. They're not too heavy, and I did have specific plants I wanted to put in there. So obviously that Japanese purple, got a feeling I might have said Japanese maple a few times because we've got a couple of those, and it, you know, I'm a bit silly like that, saying the wrong things. But Japanese purple is going to go in one, and I also have a Fan Aloe. I've got 2 of them. Well, 3 actually. This is my medium size one, but aloes get good sized roots, and I think this pot is too small for it. So although I think this one would look better in there, I kind of want to give it more space. So I'm thinking the big pot, but that's a lot of pot for one plant, so I might put something around it. And then I also have this frilly, and I have the same frilly growing in my front garden. I have a photo of the one in the front garden. I'll insert it. It's not the best photo, but it's massive. And so I know this one will get big too. And you know, I'm trying to steer away from terracotta pots. So ideally, I think this would probably do better in the bigger pot, because it can get so big. So that one can go with this one. Oh, I won't put it in for now. And then which leaves that for the Japanese maple. See, I did it. I said it, didn't I? Japanese maple. Japanese purple. Far out. And so that leaves this one for the Japanese purple to go in there, and I think that will work quite nicely. I'll just rest that there for a sec. So I want to, all of these are succulents that grow quite high, tall. And I know a lot of people love their big succulents to have a low profile, you know, in other words, not seeing the stem. But I'm pro stem. I'm very pro stem for a couple of reasons. First of all, if a baby grows on it, you can see it. And I think I'm pretty good at keeping my stems looking quite uniformed in size. And for those who haven't heard me mention it, because I do mention it quite a bit, is when you have a dry leaf like that, as hard as it is to resist pulling it off, if you pull it off prematurely, like if I pull that one off, it will distort the shape of the stem. It will make it kind of, actually, Japanese purple, set it right there, is a good example. See how the width of the stem varies? And that depends on when the leaves came off. So anyway, so yeah, pro stem because babies, nice stem, and this gives me room to plant other things around it, so other things have this sort of space to grow, and obviously it will get bigger as it gets higher. And you know, you just use stakes to hold it in place if it's getting top heavy, and then you can have, you know, your nice low growing stuff underneath it. So I'm mentioning that because I'm trying to figure out which succulent gets the Pats Pinks around it. And at the moment they're looking quite peachy, but they can get a really lovely pink tone to them too, hence the name. And so initially I was going to plant them with the Japanese purple, but because it's a smaller pot, and they still do get a bit of height on them too, but I'd really love it if they sort of grew up and over. So I'm thinking these colours could look quite striking together, and it could be effective on that as well. I think I'll leave that to last. Maybe we'll switch gears. I'm really vibing this. I think these two are going to be really great together. I think we'll do that first. Yes, yes indeed. Okay, let's do it. Now, a lot of you people ask me about soil mixes, so I'm going to show you what I do, and it is so simple, probably too simple for most people. So I've got a tub here. I just fill it up with regular potting soil. I buy the cheap one from Bunnings. I'll insert the photos of it, and I use propagation sand only, just those two. I've used perlite before. I've never used granite, I've never used pumice, and I just can't be bothered mucking around with buying all that stuff because it just gets costly. I know the benefits. I think there's the propagation sand. It's coarse, and I go through a lot of soil, and I don't have the interest in making my own soil compost and all that stuff. I just tip in a lot of this sand. You can see it's quite coarse. I don't know if you can use regular sand. I really don't know the difference. And I just work it through till I feel like it's gritty enough. I do like it quite gritty, so I guess it'd be like a 40-60 mix, I guess. I don't know. It works for me. I'm sure if you put some other stuff like pumice and granite and even perlite, it'd probably be even more free draining. I think free draining is definitely the way to go. But here's my rubbish bin, way over there. Okay. So yeah, just like that. I might put a bit more in actually. And it's really about cost for me. I don't want to waste costs buying all that crap. I mean stuff. Yeah, to me, oops, oh, got my headphones caught up. To me it is crap. No, I shouldn't say that. It's not crap. It's good. It's good. Yeah, so kudos to you if you do all that. I really do admire you for it. But this seems to be sufficient for me. And I don't know. I guess I want to just demonstrate to people and newbies in particular, don't stress about it too much. It's good to get it right, but it's not the be-all and end-all as far as, you know, working with succulents. Succulents are pretty hardy. Yes, they can get root rot, and we should be mindful of that and have free draining soil. And I think this does drain well enough for me. And it's all about your climate too. If you got a high humidity sort of place, I would probably go a bit grittier to help move water along and so forth. So this is what works for me. All right, I'm going to just fill up my pot and let's get cracking, crack-a-lackin'. So does anyone else have a Fan Aloe? I think they're gorgeous. This one might be a little dehydrated. I got this from my supplier friend, my mystery supplier friend. I'm really curious to see how big the root system is. Yeah, wow, see, it was ready. Yeah, anyway, he reluctantly sold me a couple because he makes good money off these. He's got a big property. I don't know the size, but it's pretty big. And he has some growing in the ground, and they're really, well, what he has is really mature and really established. It's like a tree, basically. And he just takes all the pups off it and sells them, but he makes good money off them, apparently. So he only let me have a couple. But I was happy with that. So let's just create a bit of a space, and then I'll just open up the root ball a bit in here so it's less messy. Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story. The other day I was pulling weeds and grass and stuff. Oh, look at, oh, I might trim these old roots a bit. Yeah, and there was a big giant long blade of grass that was, it's actually near the frilly Echeveria that I showed you. I took some pups from. Anyway, the blade of grass was stuck under, oh, I think I've done this wrong. I've got all this crap in there now. Was under a rock, and it was really wedged in there, so I was really grabbing it, giving it a good yank, you know, like I really had it, I'm bending down low, and it wouldn't come out. And then it just broke. It snapped into my hands, and I was falling backwards, and time slowed down, and I was very acutely aware that behind me was my spiral aloe, and I thought, oh shit, I'm gonna fall in it. And I missed it by that much, which I was grateful, but I ended up landing on the rock that's near it, and boy, was my bum sore. I really thought I was going to bruise up. Must have been quite a hilarious sight, really. So yeah, and I was so grateful I didn't land in the aloe, because it's prickly, and second of all, I didn't want to damage it. Just looking at that stem there, that doesn't look great, but maybe that's just how they are. Right, I'm going to top up some more soil. Yeah, so that was bloody hilarious. I was sore for quite a while. Might pause and do this because it's a bit boring. Okay. Alright, so that's nearly flush with the rim, and before I go on, I could have put this in earlier, but I wanted it closer to the top and the roots. So that's systemic for the new viewers. That's what I've been using for mealies. This is a preventative measure. It's not so much for the aloe, I don't think that gets mealies, it's for the sedum, so I'm going to put in here as well. And so coming back to soil mix, you know, as far as fertilizing and stuff, when I was at Bunnings, I bought some more Osmocote, cactus and tongue-tied, cactus and succulent slow release. What do they call it? Controlled release. Same shit, isn't it? Controlled. So I'll put a bit of that in there as well. And now we just need to top dress it. So I've changed my camera angle, and I've got on the camera frame in front of me, between me and the pot. And I thought I'd come at this angle for a change. Sometimes the overhead angle isn't, you can't always see everything well. I wonder if I should put a little bit more. Yeah, just a tad more. Okay, for this stage I think changing my camera angle is a good idea. I haven't had a look at these cuttings since I took them, so I'm just going to have a quick inspection for any signs of mealies before I put them in. This one's good. I'm just going to just place a few randomly here and there and see what happens. But I may move them around as they grow, but for now we'll just sort of just try and fill up the space as best as possible. But I would really love it to cascade over. I think probably some seps, something low that grows low would be ideal for doing something like this. And I think these sedums are sort of in between that. They grow low, but they can grow up and high too. So who knows how this is going to go. But yeah, some low growing seps around there would look really cool too. I do have a few that I was thinking about doing that with, but I think these colours are going to work really nicely together. So that's why I've chosen these. Look a bit dull at the moment, the colours. I bought a new pair of scissors too when I was at Bunnings. I'm already loving this green against this pot. Yeah, so let me know if you've got a Fan Aloe. I've got another one in a pot out in the front patio. And that's quite nice. These are good. They're not, I haven't seen any mealy stuff, which is great. So yeah, but the systemic granules was for mealy control on these. I hope I've got enough to fill it up. I really want a compact kind of look about it. I'm trying to dust it off so you can still see it in the camera frame. It's been a while since I've done an arrangement. I kind of need a fix, you know what I mean? I need my hit. So glad to do that. Oh, this is another thing I wanted to mention. I have noticed there's an option when you upload your video that you can put closed caption languages. So I thought that might be helpful for internationals who may be watching. And I'm not quite sure how it works, but I thought I might give it a go and turn it on. Maybe it takes longer to upload it. I'm not sure. So when I do that, if it does seem to have stalled it out a bit, I may not put the captions on, because I don't understand, if you know that you can, why more channels don't do it. And the only reason I could think is because it might slow the uploading time. But then my question was, well, what language do I put there? And I was hoping there might be a couple languages you can choose from, but it seems like you can only choose one. I could be wrong there. And so then I go back to thinking about demographics, because YouTube has this thing called YouTube Studio, and it tells you a lot of really great information about how much your videos are being watched and all that stuff. But it does tell you things like what genders, so mainly it's women watching me, and what part of the world. So most of the viewership is American and Australian, and it does seem to switch around. Some of them have got a higher American viewership on some videos, and some of them have got a more Australian viewership. But there does seem to be some people in India, the Philippines, also watching. And I know Filipinos, there's a lot of great Filipino videos and succulent lovers there. So what language? And then, I don't know, I was thinking maybe Spanish. Just not sure if I want to keep this little offset happening. It's nice, it's got a few little babies, but maybe if I put that inwards a bit somewhere, maybe we could put that closer to there. Yeah, now I don't have that many left. I'm trying to show you. This is a scraggly bit. I'll use more for propagation. I guess I could take that one. There's little ones there. That's more for propagation as well. And that's a different sedum, which I might be cheeky and just sneak in there as well. I do have more of these cuttings. I'm not sure if I like that. God, I'm really fussy, aren't I? Yeah, no, it's coming off. That can go with propagation. Quite. Maybe if I lay, there's a little bulb there, so I point that up, and I might lay that one more. I think I might need some more cuttings, which I've got plenty to take from out the front. I have a few laying around here too. Not pretty ones though. And these little leaves I might try and propagate. They're not the healthiest leaves, so these days I can be a bit more selective on what leaves I use for propagation. But I remember the early days, any leaf was like, oh, a leaf. And that's cool too, if that's where you're at. So I was just looking for that last little baby. Yeah, I want it fuller than this. This is not enough. So I'll go to plan B, which I'm reaching over to my shelf here. I have another tray. This was, hang on, how can I show you? Let's just move this back for a minute. So a few weeks earlier I had done a similar thing. I'd taken some yucky pieces out of my flower, my garden bed, and I just used one of these trays to put in the bits and pieces and just wait for some propagation. So those other pieces that I had before, I might as well throw them in, and those leaves I might as well throw them in too. But I'm going to take some heads out. I haven't rooted yet. Oh, I've got a little bit of root on that one. That's good. That's good. Let's take those out. Maybe that one too. Yeah. And I'll just put all these loose bits in there, and just with time new little heads will grow on them and you can take them out. You hear my dogs barking? It's probably my son revving them up. Likes to stir them up and get them all excited. I feel like yelling out, "Don't you know Mum's making a video?" He knows, he just doesn't care. Yeah, so let's just throw all those in. What you can you see? You can see there. Yeah, it'll take time for these cuttings to root. Like that one's got roots, and that's been sitting there about maybe 3 weeks now. And for anyone who's new at cuttings, don't get disheartened if you lose some bottom leaves. You think your cutting's done. It's not. It's taking a little bit of energy out of those lower leaves to throw off some roots. And once the roots get going, then it will bounce back up. Just realizing I've probably got to rotate this pot a bit too as it grows, to keep them growing uniformed and have consistent colouring as well. Right. God, I'm so glad to get over that cold. That really caught me. I think, with lockdowns that we've experienced, I know you, Penny Smith in Tasmania, barely even knows what a lockdown is, because Tassie pretty much shut out the world straight away, and they're pretty much existing in a COVID-free existence. But there's a price to pay for that, isn't it? Tassie's the little state, the little island state for non-Australian viewers. Yeah, so I guess that's the price they had to pay, is keeping everyone out. But they kept the COVID out, that's for sure. I think I was talking about something else, but I lost my train of thought, as per usual. Yeah, that looks really good. Okay, let's get the camera down so you can have a look. I wonder if we've got enough time to do that Japanese purple, not maple, purple. So there we are. Might be a little bit busy, I don't know. I'm going to stick with a plan and see how it goes. And worst comes to worst, if I don't like it, I'll pull them all out. But I do like the colour tone against that pot. I like this muted colour. Looks sort of cementy. Do you know what I mean? Alright, let's try and pot up that Japanese purple really quickly. Right. I think I might spray a bit of this systemic spray, because we did have a little mealies, a little mealy that I found on it. I'll just spray it onto the roots, and I've got the systemic granules in there. Soil. Okay, so yeah, soil, top dressings in, and I want to put some Sepravivans on the bottom layer. I just pulled out some out of a pot I'd been growing some in, and can't show you well. I left the stem poking up about that much, so I've got a bit of space there. So I wanted it to be high as possible so I can get these in here. I don't know what specific type these seps are. I think this is a nice combination between this sort of shade of green and this shade of purple. So I just quickly clean them up before. Just going to try and tuck their roots in. I do like doing top dressing first, so I don't have to try and get the top dressing in after they're in. I just find that's a little trickier. The stuff gets inside the rosettes. I might try and space them out a bit so in time, you know, they're prone to throw off offsets. Like this one's got offsets hanging off it. I'm just kind of wondering, should I keep them on and take them off? Oh, there's a nice good space there. This will look better when I take the camera down. Show you. Actually, I might switch the angle now just to give you a different perspective before we're finished. So let me get this one in first. Yeah, so clearly I'm keeping its babies on it. Yeah, that's going to work. I need some more top dressing. Right, so you can sort of get a little bit of a better view. So see what I mean about the length of the stem? I've kept it quite high. Beyond that point it started getting narrow, and I've explained how I feel about that, so I hid that. So we could probably fit these in here. Yeah, I think these colours are going to work really nicely together. You can see this leaf there and that back leaf there, I think is a little distorted. It's probably because it had some mealies. That's another reason why I had to take it out from the front, because I can't keep track of, I just can't maintain them as well, as we all know. I thought I had more of this. Well, that will do. What's that? Probably bird poop. Alright. Oh, there we go. There was one more. Where can we put that one? I'll just put it under here. So I've got a feeling the Echeveria Japanese purple will probably change shape as it settles into its new lighting conditions. I wouldn't be surprised if this opens up more. I don't know how combining these two are going to work long term, so we'll see. I've got a feeling it'll be good, but I could be wrong, so you know, if I don't like it I'll just change it later. Yeah, just need a little bit more top dressing. This top dressing I get from All Greens Nursery. It's in Hoppers Crossing. They specialise in landscaping materials as well as plants. See, that's what I don't want. You can't see it. Oh yeah, you might. It's irritating. That irritates me. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this is a 20 kilo bag. It goes quite a while. And it sort of gets worked in as part of the soil mix too, I guess. A little bit. Some of it falls in. pretty good. Okay, let's have a good look at both of those pots we've done. Well, there we go, all done, and they look quite nice together, don't they? You can see the other ones underneath look pretty good. Be curious to see how much this, I don't really know where I'm going to put them, what kind of lighting conditions, but clearly these larger leaves will create shadow on that, so which may lead to elongation of the seps. Who knows? I don't know, but we'll see. So there you go, folks. All right, it's nearly dinner time. Better get crack-a-lacking in the kitchen. Have a good one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. I'll make another one very shortly, I'm sure, now that I'm feeling better. Okay, bye guys. I wanted to sincerely thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you liked it and subscribe to my channel. Also, you can find me as S for Succulents on my Instagram and Facebook page, where I post daily photos with tips and information. So come and hang out with me there. It's a great place to chat and connect. Thank you.